championship last year, we might have been having this conversation.
ESPN just told Sandy Brondello was let go.
ESPN just dropped the kind of bombshell that shakes an entire league. The New York Liberty, one of the WNBA's most high-profile franchises, have parted ways with Sandy Brondello. On paper, they're calling it a contract not being renewed. In reality, it's a firing. And the shocking part? This is the most successful coach in Liberty history. The woman who delivered their first championship, rebuilt their identity, and made them a powerhouse is suddenly shown the door. Fans woke up to this news thinking it had to be a typo. But no, it's real. And according to ESPN, the reasons behind it aren't just wild. They expose the ruthless, ego-driven politics that have been simmering beneath the surface of the WNBA's newest powerhouse. For 4 seasons, Brondello poured herself into this team. In her second year, she had the Liberty in the finals. In her third year, she delivered the ultimate prize, a championship. And even this season, despite injuries and roster flaws outside her control, she had them as contenders before a first-round playoff exit. To any normal franchise, that resume screams success. But in New York, success wasn't enough. ESPN reports that the decision to move on from Brondello wasn't sudden. It had been brewing for over a year. In fact, if she hadn't won the championship last season, she likely would have been gone then. The message was clear: championship or bust. And bust in their eyes meant anything less than a repeat. That kind of standard is absurd. Coaches with half her accomplishments get statues outside arenas, but Brondello gets the cold shoulder. It's like hiring a chef, watching him earn you your first Michelin star, and then firing him because he didn't bring home a second star immediately. The Liberty's front office has been described as bullish. Translation: their Wall Street-backed ownership treats sports like a stock portfolio. If results aren't perfect, dump the asset and buy a new one. It's ruthless, and it ignores the reality of basketball. Injuries happen, rosters need depth, and dynasties aren't built overnight. But here's where ESPN's reporting goes deeper. Brondello wasn't just coaching through normal challenges. She had stars dealing with injuries during the postseason, a roster lacking the kind of bench depth you need for long playoff runs, and the constant pressure of managing egos in one of the league's most hyped locker rooms. Yet she still won more games than any Liberty coach in history. She still delivered a title. She still built a culture players wanted to be a part of. And somehow, the front office saw all that as not enough. The timing of the announcement was brutal too. No parade. No grand thank you. Just a bland "we appreciate her service" statement followed by talk of finding her replacement.
Winning the title, what exactly led to the parting of ways between the Liberty and Sandy Brondello here?
Really, championship or bust for New York and for Sandy Brondello.
ESPN made it clear, this wasn't a thoughtful goodbye. It was cold, calculated, and fast. It screamed of management eager to make themselves the story, not the players or the coach who actually did the work. And make no mistake, this decision sends ripple effects far beyond one coaching change. Breanna Stewart only signed a 1-year deal. That means she could walk. And when ESPN floated that possibility, it suddenly turned this firing from shocking to reckless. If Stewart feels like the front office doesn't value stability or her voice, why would she stay? Imagine the fallout if the Liberty lose not only their championship coach but their MVP-level superstar in back-to-back years. That's not building a dynasty. That's self-sabotage. Then there's the Caitlin Clark factor. The Liberty want their stars, Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, to be the league's uncontested faces. But Brondello wasn't shy about praising Clark and acknowledging the cultural shift she's brought to the game. That honesty rubbed some people the wrong way. The Liberty are obsessed with positioning themselves as the center of the WNBA universe, but in reality, Caitlin Clark has shifted the balance of power. For ownership, that wasn't the narrative they wanted their coach supporting. So even Brondello's willingness to speak the truth became a strike against her. Other coaches in the league are already speaking out. Becky Hammon, one of the most respected voices in the sport, said she didn't like the move. That matters. When a peer of Hammon's stature essentially calls your decision garbage, you can't just brush it off. The Liberty are pretending they're making chess moves, but all they've really done is flip the board and walked away. And now the question becomes, who replaces Brondello? ESPN suggested the Liberty may even look outside the WNBA, possibly to NBA assistants. On the surface, that sounds flashy, but it's reckless. Coaching a veteran, championship-caliber WNBA team isn't the same as being an NBA assistant. It's like handing someone the keys to a Formula One car when they've only driven go-karts. Sure, it grabs headlines, but it risks alienating the locker room entirely. Players don't want experiments. They want trust and consistency. Brondello gave them that, and now it's gone. What makes this even more wild is that Brondello won't be unemployed for long. Seattle has an opening. Expansion franchises are coming. She's too respected and too successful to stay on the sidelines. Imagine her taking over in Seattle and leading them to a title. That would be the ultimate revenge tour. And if that happens, the Liberty don't just look cold and ruthless, they look flat-out foolish.
Sandy Brondello was supposed to be fired last year, but she actually won the WNBA championship.
Their ownership and management really are looking to just continue upon that success that they.
Let's not forget the numbers ESPN highlighted. In 2022, the Liberty went 16-20, a rebuilding year. In 2023, they jumped to 32-8 and made the finals. In 2024, they went 32-8 again and won the championship. And in 2025, even with injuries, they still finished 27-7. That resume should get you a lifetime contract. Instead, it got her a pink slip. Fans are right to be furious. Social media exploded after the news broke, with Liberty fans calling it betrayal, nonsense, even sabotage. Some are already swearing off supporting the team until ownership changes. Instead of looking bold, the Liberty just alienated the very people they rely on. This isn't just a Liberty problem, it's a WNBA problem. Too often the league undercuts itself chasing NBA-style drama. It wants quick fixes, constant headlines, and big splash moves. But the WNBA doesn't have the same infrastructure as the NBA. It needs stability. It needs consistent storytelling. It needs to build trust with fans. Moves like this send the opposite message. Loyalty means nothing, winning isn't enough, and chaos is just around the corner. And here's the harsh truth ESPN hinted at. This firing wasn't about basketball. It was about power. Ownership poured money into branding, marketing, and facilities. They want to be the crown jewel of the league, the glamour franchise that dominates headlines. But Brondello's success threatened that narrative because it gave the credit to her and the players, not the boardroom. So she had to go. The irony? The players still had her back. Stewart publicly said after their playoff exit that they supported Brondello. That wasn't empty talk. That was a superstar speaking up for her coach. And management ignored it. If you're Stewart, or any player watching, that screams one thing: your voice doesn't matter here. That's a dangerous message to send in a league where free agency is growing in importance. So what are we left with? A franchise that just made itself the story for all the wrong reasons. A coach who delivered history now being courted by other teams. Fans furious at the betrayal. And a league that should be riding a wave of momentum thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark, instead dealing with headlines about dysfunction. ESPN didn't just reveal why Sandy Brondello was fired. They revealed how fragile the Liberty's foundation really is. This wasn't failure. This was success punished by ego. And the message is clear. In New York, winning isn't enough. You have to win on management's terms, or you're gone.